together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day again, for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. In a case like this, cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, and I had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great, and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call. Proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing process, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, brother, we have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's a complicated and a very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in those couple of days, it has been taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this. I would like to throw gut for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without the Attorney General Todd Bland resources there, we would not have been able to complete our
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere, and every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly, but it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence. For lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act, having his life taken in that very act makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share, they can freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those, and specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and across the country. He said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the, he said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, offer them so much. Losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting what politics. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is responsible for what happened here. That person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. You know, this bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting, there was no looting, there were no cars set on fire, there were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country, and he said, "I'm not optimistic." He said, "I hate optimism." Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in.
I cannot speak to that right now.
How do you interpret the verdict on casing?
Well, I would leave up to you to interpret what those ingredients. I think the clearest one that says catch fascist. There's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating. Please. Talk about this level of hatred that this person expressed. Is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that the into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. So I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on camp back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. The question is what kind of watershed, and that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of our chapter 3 or the beginning of our chapter? Look. I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved.
Your AI is only as smart as your prompt, and this makes every prompt 10 times smarter. This is all thanks to this prompt enhance button in Augment Code. With just one click, it'll take any vague prompt and use
viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off us, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together. The Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion to find their better angels. So yes, this could be. I mean, you know, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975. But I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Of you, I know some were there. But this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m., the timeline that Director Patel gave us, led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, to know that this.
One more thing, Governor. Could you clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So, so when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point when he was apprehended, when he was arrested. The clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes. Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. Process-wise, this may be important. I think it's important that you, a CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information, preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So, we would anticipate then that early next week, those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working, the county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
And that's that. Found his address, found his birthday. Hey, Shauna, welcome in, everybody. Wow. There is all kinds of stuff to talk about and to show you guys. And hopefully my computer doesn't cave on me. Once I bring up StreamYard and Scribble Maps doesn't work all that great. So I have found his mom and dad, his birthday, and his address. So while let me go ahead and pull up that the map. Hopefully you guys are doing good this morning. Shauna, good morning. Thank you for coming up. I've got a link in the chat if anybody wants to join in on the conversation. But Shauna and I were looking. Good morning, honey.
Hey.
Go ahead and, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself and how we met or whatever, and then I'm going to pull up the map.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could get winded on this one, but I won't. You've seen my essay.
Yeah.
So, well, we could just talk about the night before.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. So I guess you were doing some teaching, and you were showing me how you do the charts and the numbers part of it. And you called it, like, I've got all the receipts, but I'm so blown away right now that it's, I do a lot of energy work. So I'm really putting kind of my energy in a kumbaya state. So you're just phenomenal. But we were talking on the charts the night before. You said today would be in alignment with the U.S. I mean, you were saying something's going to happen, and it's bigger than,
right.
We realize on a level that it's all for a purpose, and it's no matter what side you're on. So yeah, I'm here to support you in what you do because I believe in you, and to also help. And anytime you just let me know when to chime in, and I'm going to auto write as you speak and do the charts as well.
Okay,
Does
that
that
sounds
sound
great.
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds great. Okay, so let's look at his map real quick. And this is, I had 3 hot spots, so that's going to be in one of my 3. And the reason the reason why I put it here and here and here is because I was thinking that he would go across state lines. This is the Mars. This is the Mars in Libra. And the Mars in Libra, let me make sure y'all can see this. Yeah, y'all can. So the Mars in Libra, this is very interesting because the Mars in Libra, y'all, you may not like some of the things I'm going to say, but I am not going to be shy, and I'm going to say exactly what I've been thinking about this chart, because the Mars in Libra, this is where all the warring is with the government, with the police, and with justice. And the Mars in the 11th house is about groups. It is about the future, with Uranus being eccentric. And it goes back to the man, follow the man carrying the pitcher. The man is carrying the pitcher. Well, men didn't carry pitchers back in the day. Women did. So I'm really going to, I'm a very spiritual person and love Jesus Christ. I just don't like the religious dogma. I don't like religious dogma in our politics. And I don't like the fact that this guy that was speaking to us today out of Utah was first condemning China and talking about China bots and China. These people like to keep us divided, distracted, and confused. This guy who they have arrested, Tyler, we're going to look at his chart too. We're going to look at his connections. Both his mother and father are Republicans. I found his address through their political, on the political site, the registration, voter registration. He's unaffiliated. His parents are Republicans. I hear his dad's a cop and his mom's a social worker. I'm not sure about that. But the day before, so the night before, Shauna and I are talking, and I noticed when looking at the transits, I noticed something. And so I had to stop and I had to figure out what it was that I was seeing. And then I remembered I had been looking at Elon Musk's chart. I immediately, of course, noticed Israel and Trump showing up. And then I can definitely see that the sun is shining on Epstein and the values are with Ghislaine, however you pronounce her name. And they are considered to be, quote unquote, Mossad. And we know that the last days, last weeks, last months of Charlie, he was talking about his donors, going against the donors. Somebody had said on Twitter that somebody close to Charlie had told him that Charlie was afraid that they were going to unalive him. Is this guy a patsy? I mean, maybe, maybe not. What are we going to find out eventually? What will we find out about this boy's affiliations and the mental health, the power of his mind, and who would have infiltrated the power of his mind? Because that's what is our worst adversary here on earth, is those who get into your mind and create headspace and hang out there. That is the biggest problem with social media too, is allowing other people to get into your headspace, to take over the power of your mind. The power of your mind is the kingdom. We talk about this here on this channel. So I had the 3 hot spots only because, like I said, this right here is where there was a square. So we are squaring up. The Cancerian energy is going this way. And I want to just broaden it out because I want you to see. It goes over the White House. This challenge not only goes over the White House, it goes over Portugal. We know what's happening in Portugal. Don't you? Do y'all know what's happening in Portugal? And then it goes over Israel. So we got Israel, Portugal, the White House. That's on the square. Okay, so this is Hygeia. Hygeia, I just did a video about her. She is the daughter of Asclepius. She is about the purity of health. She is about the purity of world health. This in Cancer, we could even go back to the lineage. The lineage, because the 4th house of home, Cancer, is about lineage. And isn't that what this is all about? Lineage. Going back to Israel, you know, we created it in 1948, but hey, this is what this is about. So let's see what this is. Let's go further in because I think that this is where they found the his weapon. Let me see. I'm going to show this closer in. That way you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But this is where I'm assuming from some of my research that they would have found the weapon is right here. So this right here is the event's 4th house Ceres in Aries that has a quincunx, the 11th house of Poseidon and Scorpio. So Poseidon and Scorpio, it's about things that are hidden with the investigation. Ceres is directed energy. So Ceres is a directed energy. It's also about religion. Ceres is about religion and directed energy. I get so tired of hearing the same-o from astrologers that are just reading books that talk about how great of an energy that Ceres is and how she's such a nurturing energy. No, that's not true. I see it every time, and she's not about being nurturing. This is about directed energy and religion, religious dogma. So here we are, and this is on the 4th house, Ceres in Aries. Ceres matches the degree of the FBI Uranus in the 3rd house of Capricorn. This is telling me that the communications with the FBI are shaken up here with a lot of energy with groups. Now, does that mean that the FBI would be involved, would have something to do with this? Or is that just telling us that that's where they find it? It could go either or. And then this Saturn here, this is where the Saturn was critical at a 29 degree. Critical. 29 degree. And I'm going to show you who has that. The Department of Justice. Department of Justice was being opposed here. It's not going this way. It's going this way. I think that that's interesting. That's interesting. Here is Saturn. There is a business here. What is this? Let's look at the ground level. I don't see a business. I see houses. Let's see. It's a house. Or is this a business? No, this is a business. I think. No, damn, that's a fancy, fancy, fancy house. Interesting. I wonder what that is. Looks like a pool. Or was it pool, maybe? I don't know. So that's where the Saturn is going. Limits and obstacles with authority. And it has to do with death. Things of the past. endings, acceptance. So this is the square. And then here's the North Node in Pisces. The North Node in Pisces is going this direction. So we have a lot that's going north. Let's see. Let's go down. Say about waterways. I wasn't paying attention. He said something about water. There's the bay. Here's the South Node. Okay, so that's the map. Pretty cut and dry. Here is where Mrs. Maxwell is. This is where she's housed right here. There's Bush, and there's the Maxwell prison. That's where she's at, supposedly. And this is where I really want y'all to take note, okay? Because this is where Selena, Vulcanus, and then Venus. This is the Leo was in the 8th house. In the 8th house. Now the event is going to show it in the 9th. But my event that I was looking at shows it in the 8th house of death. And of course, you can see that we are going into Mexico, but Louisiana as well. And then we're going down into Cuba, Honduras, Costa Rica. So this is interesting because this is what we learn. What we learn. Now the 1817, let me go ahead and 150, 68, 168. This is going to be where the sun is shining. Okay, so maybe I did. No. Hold on. That's the South Node. So the sun is shining. And it's shining on at an 1817, and it's shining on Epstein. So 150, 168. 168. This is interesting to me because it's right where the South Node is. Right where the South Node is. All right, so the 18 and the 18, they're both okay. So I'm going to move on from that. Writing on gun and bullet was Antifa. I heard. Yeah, I wish that I could understand when Antifa was created, because then I could do a chart for it. But I just have to look at the people that have been affiliated or that we think are affiliated with Antifa to really get a handle on it. But I don't. Excuse me. Let me. I'm going to start sharing my. Let me get, okay, so this is I want to show you, hold on, let me go ahead and get his birthday in here. Excuse me. Tyler Robinson. And what was it? April. Hold on, let me find his birthday again. April. No, I've got 9/14. It was not 9/14. I thought it was April. Hold on. Jesus. I've got 4/16. Sorry. It's April. Yeah, it's April 16th. I told you wrong. I told you wrong, Shauna. Sorry. April 16th, 2003. That's what I've got. That's what I've got. Let me make sure. Hold on.
That's all right, girl. I'm listening. I'm intuiting. I'm just listening to channel. Unless you want me to dig, because I will. I did just, I think I found the Antifa, though. I did.
Let me make sure his birthday. I'm going to make sure his birthday is correct.
Okay.
because his mother has it on her. She has it on her on her Facebook. Let me go back. And search it again. I feel for his parents. I really do. Oh, dang it. She's taking his birthday off. Ugh. Dang it, dang it, dang it. And I didn't take a picture of it. I'm pretty sure because I wrote down April 16th.
You wrote down April 16th. So
I
I think
wrote down
that's,
April 16th, but then
you told, there's something with that then, because you gave me the 9/14. So there's something with that.
I must have did something.
Either an omen of sorts, or that might be a chart to look at. 9/14.
April. Okay, so I'm going to do April 16th. I'm going to do April 16th because that's what I first wrote down. I don't know where I got the September. So I'm going to duel it out. I'm just going to duel this out to that chart because I'm looking at the chart that I saw. They said that so I'm an hour ahead of Utah. So I was looking at Nashville, Tennessee time, right? So let me share this with you guys. Yes, she's deleting posts, evidently, because it was just on there. Like, it was just on there. But, people have already gotten his birthday. People have already gotten, everything that they needed. I can promise you that. So let's look. Let me do the window. Okay. So this is the first time that I'm looking at this. 817. There we go. 818. So we're going to take it back. So what's happening is the investigation is opposing Jupiter. Video is opposing him. Groups are opposing him, and the law enforcement. Whoa. Hold on. I'm seeing what I can gather here. 1805. Look at that. The nodes are on 1806. So it's fated with his Chiron, and his Chiron is in Capricorn. That 2941 in Pisces, well, that goes to Israel and Russia. 2941. It's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call. So he doesn't like what's going on in Israel. That's what it is. That's why Israel is showing up.
Yeah, I'm definitely what you're saying right now with the charts. I'm picking that up. Just authority, which let's finish the chart and then I'll keep writing. Yeah, it is a wow.
Wow. So Mars 2650. That's where that's going. There's so much more. There's going to be so much more. I can promise y'all that. It's going to be so much more when it comes to what he is all about and who he is affiliated with.
Yes.
Can guarantee you that. Let me show you. So this is the chart that I created that I was talking about. And the reason why I stopped it here exactly is because this is exactly when there was a lot of emotions, a lot of attention that is coming to Elon. Elon's not the only one that has this 448. Okay, he's not the only one, but I had noticed Trump and Israel coming into transit. And then this 2144 is reminding me of the FBI. It's making a mark here. The FBI, there's a mark here, and it's with the future Chiron of the FBI. Chiron, if you don't know what Chiron is the symbol that looks like a key that holds your pain. You can transmute that pain into something so much greater and become the phoenix who rises from the death. This is not. Oh my gosh, y'all. I could so get you in the rabbit hole right now. I would say that his moon is probably a 2531. Why? Because the 2531 is being opposed with his moon. His mom, his home, the justice, the government. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I would say that moon is going to be the 2531. Let me go ahead and make it there. Let me go ahead and put it there because this is the one that I'm going to use. 2531. So he's going to be born at 12:13 p.m. for me right now. 12:13 p.m. Wow, and that's this boy. And everybody was saying, it was, oh gosh. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, let's go back and let's look at this again. It is. It's so sad. It's so sad. Just all around.
When this chart's gonna really reel this in. I can. Whew.
Okay, so his Saturn I've got his Saturn at a 2438. And so his Saturn, there's going to be within just a couple of hours, he is going to come into a relationship that's going to slow him down with communications. And that could be his dad. And I hear that his dad is a cop. So that it could be possible. It could be possible. And, you got to wonder who his dad is also affiliated with, who his mom is affiliated with. 127, and that would be a 125. So the lunar nodes are coming down. So, I'm sorry, the Uranus at a 127 is coming down in degree to a 125. It could be that his lunar nodes are a 127 and we would have to take him back to an earlier birth. That's possible. It's possible because that 817. Interesting. I don't know. What I'm hearing is that I don't know for sure if his dad's a cop, but that's what I've heard. Has anybody else heard his dad was a cop or is a cop? Let's see.
I just seen it said a family member, but I haven't dived because I'm trying to take the energy in to channel. I am picking up a lot. I can't see the chart though. Is that just because we're on the stream?
Yeah, I took it off for a second.
Okay, sure.
Because I'm wanting to see if his dad is a cop. His dad could be a preacher. I don't know. Let's see. Tyler Robinson's dad. Was hailed as a father of justice. Let's see. Times of India is reporting it. Let me show you what I'm reading. Okay. Preacher and dad are friends. Okay.
That's wild. That's strong.
Somebody who is very close.
And okay, you just let me know when you're ready for me to go. This is so big. Not to sound
I don't
dramatic.
know. Okay, so April was saying preacher and dad are do what now? Oh, what happened?
I'm
Are we
here.
still
I'm
here?
here. Yeah, I thought
We
there was
still here?
someone else talking. I
Preacher
wrote down.
contacted. Okay, so the preacher.
So if that is true, if that is in fact true, that says that if that is true, that he trusted someone of religion, correct? When you agree?
Mhm.
And there's a lot surrounding this. I'm getting a lot with this boy. This is for a bigger cause, as we know. This is much bigger. I think I'll go to that, but I'm feeling really pulled to him. Like nurture nature, like the a lot actually with the mom. Authority, yeah, with the dad. I don't know if he is in fact the law enforcement person, family member or not. Um, it is, he had as we all do, had a purpose, but I can feel his pain. I can actually feel the confusion, the pain, and just the push against what's been embedded in him. So if in fact it was true with the preacher, um, that says he trusted him, there's something there that I don't know how much truth we have with all of this. We may not know, but I think the charts will help. And the more you talk, it helps me kind of channel. But there's a lot here. All right, go
Well,
ahead. Sorry.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm going to look at this a little bit deeper because obviously I'm seeing, patterns. I'm seeing degrees in his chart that remind me of other people that I've already looked at. So I think that I definitely need to pull Israel just so I can show other people
Yeah.
what was happening, why I stopped it at that chart.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Religion is happening. There's been more talk and more movement, more everything when it comes to U.S. faith, religion specific, and obviously, not too, I don't know what words you can do on YouTube Live, but this is big and it all comes down to where it all derived from. Are you getting what I'm getting, Jen?
oh yeah,
I've never heard so much. I used to say left and right. This is bigger than politics. It's just we are going through these weaves, right, to open the bigger. This is big. Oh, and
it is.
religion is literally the core of it. And I mean, we could even get bigger and broader with it. And there's distractions, a lot of distractions in the world as it is. And I think we are also, as like humans on earth, being distracted so that we become vulnerable to the rest of the world. When a country divides itself, guess what happens? We become less strong to other countries. But I believe it's bigger. It's a movement that's bigger. And it does derive with what you're about to talk about. Are you putting up Israel now?
Yeah, I've
You
got
sure
Israel and
are.
Tyler.
You
And
just
I'm
watch
gonna
this, guys. Watch this.
so I'm gonna show Israel and Tyler first. And I don't know his exact birth time, but I can estimate that we are around the same time frame because the 2941, this is Israel. This also goes to Russia. So these two countries have the same degree. And there's a wake up call. There's a wake up call. There's an investigation into the death and the spirituality with Tyler and Israel and Russia. Okay. The 2941 is their flame of life. It is Israel's flame of life and how it was rebirthed in 1948 and took over land They took over people's lands. That's exactly what happened in 1948. That's what happened. Well, the day before, okay, the day before that Charlie was taken out, all day, the day before, Venus was in transit all day with a lot of attention on the homeland, on the religious, the foreign, the warring, okay? This 447 was in transit all day. And then once with Vulcanus and Leo, Leo's kids, Leo rules kids. It rules a lot of attention. And this 447 would have been in transit for 24 hours prior to the moment that this boy got up on that building. The moment he got up on that building is the moment that Elon Musk went into transit. And that's what I was looking at. Because the 344 that Israel has here with their mark in the third house of communications is the same degree that Trump has in his 12th house. Let me say that again, in his 12th house of Leo. It's where he gains a lot of attention with communications about Israel, with communications about Mexico, because Mexico also has this 344, and so does Oklahoma. No, Oklahoma has a 342. My bad. So what I was seeing the night before was a transition from Israel to Elon. That moment that he would have gotten up on that building, or right before he did. And it was in transit with the 344. Selena, she is a teacher. She is not only does she teach, but we also learn from her. So there's a teaching, learning going on. It's, again, we're talking about school, right? What we've been taught. And that 344 that was in transit with Leo was in the 8th house. It was in the 8th house. So let me just show you that chart. Let me show you that chart with Israel. I mean, with Israel and the moment that it came. It was. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the exact moment. This is what. Okay, so let me share this one. This is amazing. It's so amazing how we use astrology to investigate by degrees, because degrees in our chart literally matter in the state of matter. Literally. This 447 had just went from 447 to 448, Vulcanus and Leo in the 8th house. That's at 114. So that would have been at 1214 Utah time. 1214 Utah time. This 1108 is pertinent to Ghislaine. This 1919 pertinent to her chart. This 1817, it's shining on Epstein. This 2217 is in the exact degree in the 10th house. Something is beginning and ending here. Something is beginning at a 2217. And who has the 2217? You ask Netanyahu. Yeah, this is a 2217. His lowest point is in Pisces, and it is about the past, spirituality. It's about the past with God, and that's his lowest point. His midheaven is all about the health factor. And look at that. He has desires at a 2420, no matter what time he would be born, which I've got his exact birth time. This is the exact birth time of Netanyahu. I know their connections. I know these people's connections with one another, and it's sinister. It is sinister. I don't believe a damn thing that they say. They are sinister beings. And we praise them as if they are something great. These people are not great. This 2420, that goes to Oklahoma. It goes to other people, other countries, but that 2420.
Tell me how can
Look
you
at that.
show
Look at
what
this.
it,
Look at this. So this, go ahead. What'd you say?
no, I'm listening to you. Sorry, here. I want to
Oh,
see
that's
this.
okay. Well, shit. It's one of the other charts. I guess it's the FBI chart. It's got a 2419. So I was going to say the 2419, the 2420, the 2421, the 2430. Who else had that? I can't remember now.
Can you look at the USA chart?
Oh, yeah. Let me pull it up.
Compare it to that. Yeah.
I want to show Donald Trump too.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Donald Trump,
Yeah.
you know, he has that.
Regulus.
He has the 344. The degrees in our chart matter, and so you know the fact is that they were all in transit together at the same time. That's what freaked me out, is because Ghislaine, Trump, Elon, and what's his face, Epstein, was all in transit together, all at the same time at that moment, which was
So it's like,
freaky.
what is the story here? What is
Yeah, I mean, what is the scene
what is
here?
the connection here?
Right.
Distraction? Or I mean,
Well,
it's
I mean,
like
they do love to distract.
what I'm
Oh,
picking up so strong is this boy though. Is this boy. I can't see the chart very well just because
yeah.
I'm on the phone.
Well,
But
no, it's
that's
because I took it. I've got to every time I change the chart.
I'm very curious about the preacher aspect of this. And I mean, it doesn't take, being a psychic to know that we are being told not the truth. We get about 30% of truth. We know that. But in this case, this is so big. And I feel like his purpose was to play this role for something greater. And I think that's what we're kind of saying. It's just with the charts, it's interesting. I'm curious to see what the story is between all of them. But all of this has been happening, correct? We've been
Right.
however you say your name, Ghislaine has been in the talks. We've been talking about religion, or at least we've been shown on media, not social media, but news media, religion, faith, Christianity, Epstein. They've been the talk of the town, of the country, correct? And then the Charlie, he has been doing what he's been doing, I guess, for, some years now, but he's grown in numbers, like more mainstream. Like it just really, it feels like recently. And unless, for me, I feel like I've seen maybe just a few months ago. So and then obviously we have all the shit going down with the other countries that has been there's what's the story here? That's what is the story?
Right. The true story. You know,
What
will
is,
we
yeah,
find out 50 years later?
right.
50 years later, who was grooming him, and or whatever was, what was happening, and he's the fall guy. You
And I
know.
think it started like as, yeah, like on this earth. I'm not gonna like mention name. There's something with the parents. I don't know. Um, that's usually an obvious when a child makes a decision, but I feel like this sounds strong for people that may or may not believe in it, but if you're on this channel, you don't think like the norm, okay? So just gonna say it.
Right.
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 Like he was birthed to do something that you know, he chose to come into this world, right, to do. That's my personal belief. And by the way, I believe in God, and I actually I believe in Jesus, and I believe in the universe, and I believe it all can coexist. That's my personal opinion, and no one should be killed for their belief. And was I a fan of Charlie? Not at all. Not at all. Did he deserve that? No. Is there a bigger role happening? Yeah. Is it inside our country? Yeah, but there's something about making us vulnerable, watching us like almost like a bird's eye view, like someone up looking. I say someone looking up from up above. That's kind of wild. But seeing the division in our country that has not been seen, at least, what,
Well,
maybe civil war? Hell, I don't know, but like, it makes
this
us
is
vulnerable. It makes us
yeah, but you know,
vulnerable.
we can look at astrology, and we can dissect what with the degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about it being the same sign. You know, all of these astrology books get you all messed up.
And
The
guys,
best way
that's
to study astrology is to have your own software, do your own thing, and look at your own viewpoint with your own thinking instead of regurgitating the same thing that gets us nowhere.
right.
So
And
what
that's
we can
by the
see clearly is that there is a relationship at a 2434 in the 12th house. This is already the past. We're looking at this event before it even happens, y'all.
wow.
Okay, we're looking at this event before it even happened. And there is a warring. There is something that is beginning and ending, and there is this warring with Netanyahu. There is a relationship. This relationship is where Donald Trump has his lowest point. But that was way before. It was at a 2434. But when Juno was at a 2418, other people's money. It's a low point with investigation in other people's money. The 344 is what we are learning with Israel and Donald Trump here. And we have been told over and over again that this 12th house it's karma. This is your past. This is the past. They could say that this is hidden enemies. Is it? Is it a hidden enemy? Are we learning about a hidden enemy? Somebody that was hidden that is now being made known? Like I said, this is before the event even happens. This is 114. Was he up there for 5 minutes? I don't know. What time did he get up there? I don't know. But the FBI is saying 1220. So this would have been 1214. You know?
Yeah, I agree actually with your because I think what you get the timestamps that you can get, right, from what is given to us. And I think I had, with my research trying to find it, gave you that you found a different, and in your chart that I think is more. For some reason, 1205 just comes to me strong for whatever reason. I don't
Well,
know.
this time came to me really strong. It came
Yeah.
to me so strong because of the 448 and the 3. This is Elon, and things are happening at home. There is an
Yeah.
emotional explosion at home, and it's Leo. Why would they blame it on a kid? Why is it or maybe they're not it's a kid. He's a kid, 22 years old. He's still a damn kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's a kid. This is Leo. And then this 1919. So this is Ghislaine. This is her flame of life. And y'all, I want to show you this because I want you to see what I was seeing at the time because there was so much intensity here. This 1531, this is Utah. This is Utah.
That's what I was going to ask. Tell me Utah. What is Utah 1531 you said?
Yes, 1531 in Cancer. 1531 in Cancer. I hadn't drawn that one out just yet, but that was going to be my next line to draw. And then they said that he had been found. So the 1531 in Cancer with all this weight of Hades at home, that is, yeah. But the day before, okay, so in order to investigate, we can't just stop here. We can't just stop here with Donald. We can't just stop here with, we got to keep going. We got to look at the Department of Justice. We got to look at the FBI. And the FBI was in transit the day before.
Yep.
The day before, the FBI was in transit all day with Kronos. There was a timing that was happening at home. This is why I don't believe that this boy would have acted alone, or I think that he is the fall. He's the fall guy. However they spin it, however it's spun, I don't know. But there is something more sinister here. And let me show you why I'm saying that, because the sun is shining on, at this moment in time, at 12:14 Utah time, 1:14 Nashville time, the sun is shining on Epstein. This 1817. The values are with Ghislaine. And so we got Ghislaine, Elon, Trump, Epstein, Netanyahu. Okay, then we go down here to this energy of the 1408. We got the FBI. Then we've got this 2918 that goes to the Department of Justice.
So I feel so much distraction. The word distraction is so strong. Is there anything in these charts, even just these two right here looking at, that just shows either as a comparison or just distraction? So, and I wanted really quick, guys, for who's listening. So Jen, now I'm going to say this not to promote that you're a teacher, because I don't add more to your plate, but she was talking to me about the degrees start with the numbers. The degrees are everything. This is how this kind of came about, literally the night before. And it's profound when you do. Like I printed out charts and got some highlighters, got a little overwhelmed, but yeah. Okay, I don't even know what I was just saying because the energy's so strong.
Well, we were talking about the night before, and we were just, I was talking about the degrees and the chart.
I felt like I remember, just because I'm learning and listening to you, right? But I remember just seeing that Leo Venus and then seeing the event chart of the Charlie in that Gemini. Like there's definitely two. Now, the thing is, there was two people that were apprehended, right?
Right.
Released. So maybe that's
we have
the
to have
two.
we have to have the two. We have to have them. We have to have them. Yeah.
Do you see anything to just show? I wish we could do. How many wheels can you put together on that software? Which you don't even need the wheels.
I can do all kinds. I can do all kinds of wheels. But what I want to show you, I want to break this down for a second, because this 2918 in the fourth house of home, there is limits and obstacles. And this 2918, like I said, goes to the Department of Justice. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment, because this is very important to this investigative chart. This 2918 that goes to the Department of Justice also goes to Donald Trump. That 2918 is found in Donald Trump's chart. Where is it found at, you ask? In his 11th house of groups, 5th house of kids, and the way he creates. So this 1108 was ticking 1104 right here. Wake up call. There's a wake up call. There's a wake up call. It's going to wake him up at 1104. It had not happened yet. It hadn't happened yet.
Whoa.
So I want you to notice that there is, I'm not blaming Donald Trump, okay? I'm just saying that these degrees in our chart literally matter in the state of matter. The day before, when there was so much devouring energy on the FBI, the day before, there was also something very interesting that was going on with Trump. He was receiving all kinds of information here about the future kid.
Oh my God.
And all of that. The 138. Pluto was at a 137. So the day before, Pluto was at that 138. And it was
Okay.
coming in the future. Death.
Oh my God.
Death.
So okay. This is not what I am picking up on intuitively because I just feel energy towards this boy. Okay. And we can go there and not go there. But here's the thing. So the talks of Charlie that I have read, because it's been a few months, was not a follower of him, but it was always interesting to just watch how he worked, right? It was really talked about very recently. Like obviously he was a big promoter of Trump and MAGA and supporter, but that he would be the next, the more than likely run
Yeah.
right? And then
Uh-huh.
we've got a guy, and this is my opinion, guys. This is just my opinion. Then we have a president who's also really pushing for another term, whether or not that's, I don't even know. I know it got a little bit further than what
Charlie
I
was a
ever.
threat. Charlie was definitely a threat.
Yeah, yeah, and
And he was turning on Israel. He didn't
yeah,
want to be as vocal as he wasn't as vocal as he probably wanted to be because he knew
mhm.
that he was walking a fine line.
And the thing
And
is,
being on Tucker's channel, oh my God. Being on Tucker's channel really sealed the deal, I'm sure, for them because Tucker is putting out a lot.
and here's the
And
thing. Have you not noticed, and my apologies, Tucker on mainstream media, like your news, right? The big news, not your local news stations, but which I don't trust even those unless it's in regards to the weather, and that's just half and half. Anyways, Tucker Carlson, when he was on whatever, completely different human being because he had to be. He was getting paid the job. Now he's like doing the whole YouTube podcast, that thing, and he's interviewing all walks of life, right? So I've got a different view on Tucker. When you just said his name, there's something that's strong with that, and I'm hoping that that might be a chart to look at.
who's?
Right. Tucker's. That might be a chart to look at.
Oh yeah, I've definitely got Tucker's.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
definitely have Tucker's, but I want to hold on. I've got Department of Justice. Maybe it's the Department of Defense. No, it's the Justice. Here we go.
What's the CIA? Is that Homeland or something CIA?
No, Homeland's different from I've got them too. Yeah, if you can't, the chart, if you can't find one, you can create one. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm. Your
Okay,
skill
so I'm
level
pulling up. So I'm just, I've got to walk because this is going to be on, this will, hold on. Why is it not coming up? Okay, Department of Justice. Who would have thought that? Why isn't it picking up my screen? Hold on.
Who would have thought that? Right.
Yeah. Yeah, who would think that anything like this? So we can play the tape backwards and we can play the tape frontwards, right? We can go back and we can look because and only based on degrees. And I use a mean node. I don't use a true node, the true lunar node. I use a mean node.
It's some people wobble.
Some other people use a true node, and I could get Charlie's chart to a true node and have his lunar nodes at that 344, honey.
Yeah, and that's what I love about you is that you do not take just one form of something. Anyway, sorry. I'm not going to go on a Jen fan tangent, but
no, I love it. So here we are. We've got the Department of Justice. Okay. And that 2918 is in their second house of values. Their second house of values. And I want you to notice this 2144. This goes to the FBI. This was also, they were hitting their mark at home in the house of death. This 2411 goes to the United States of America. And I start saying these degrees only because if you were to stay with me, well, then you're gonna start picking up on these degrees pretty quickly. What I notice is that there's a justice at a 1436. The Department of Justice has a lot of energy, this directed energy with Ceres. Ceres is directed energy. It's religion. It's in the 4th house of home. In the 4th house of home. But so what happened is Saturn was at a 2919, then it comes down to a 2918 right here with their justice. This is Astrea. Astrea is at a 2918. She is Virgo. She is the constellation of Virgo. She's a badass. However, Saturn had come here with the Department of Justice, not the Department of Defense. This is justice. And we got to think about the Epstein and all that, okay? There is an enlightenment, limits and obstacles with an enlightenment about home, about loyalty, and this 109 had just been in transit with the future and the kid 3 days prior, because the 106 that Neptune is in, Neptune is about religion. 106. So 3 days prior, on the 7th, on the lunar eclipse, full moon in Pisces, that's where Neptune was. Is right there at this outer wheel. And you notice that the other outer wheel right here, this is in the house of groups. This is the public image of the justice. It's an 819. So either Tyler is connected to this 819, 818, or 817 with his Jupiter in Leo, where there's an expansion of a lot of attention on him with the law enforcement. But do you see that is coming? Once Palace was at this 819 degree, it's coming. There's going to be a wake-up call with the Department of Justice. But look at this, 445, huh? 445. So 3 days prior also. That's exactly where Vulcanus was. It's about the past. Things of the past. And y'all, this is the way that we can innovatively use astrology to investigate what is hidden. I started out investigating what is hidden with the medical. My kids had medical problems. There was medical things. They had died. So that's where I started, because I started noticing the patterns of the degrees. So let's look at Utah now. I mean, there's so many people that we could look at, and there's so many people that I've looked at. It's not even funny. Not even funny. So let me pull up Utah with this dual wheel. Utah is going to be on the left. Make sure y'all can see that. Yeah, y'all see that. I think. No, damn. What happened? Share screen again. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I don't know how to do all this stuff that great. No, it's not showing up still. Come on. Share screen. Jesus help us, God. I'm about to share just the whole screen. Share my entire screen. Just be done with it.
Just do it, girl.
Yeah. Here we go. Jesus. So Utah is going to be on the left. This event that we were watching the night before to observe is on the right. And so Utah, their physician that brings enlightenment in their 7th house of relationships is a 1531. This 1531 in Cancer is the physician that brings enlightenment. And it's right here. the 1531. But look at this, 1648. Chronos is this. These are transits that are going to be going very slow throughout the day, and may not change degrees on that day. The next day, they may stay in transit at the same degree for days. It just depends. But this 1531 is in transit. It's sitting the Hades, the hell of home and relationships with communications with two people, with Utah, is right here. That kid could have a 2940.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. We could even take a deeper dive. And is Utah? Do you want to know if Utah is connected to Israel?
Let's look at Utah's. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's look at that, because this 1648 eventually, days before, was devouring the house of death.
Look at that.
There's the 2419. Yeah, there's the 2419 that I was looking at with Netanyahu. The 24, let's see. Israel. Where's Netanyahu?
There's so much.
There is so much. Okay, so if we look at Utah, so let's look at you. Shit, what'd I do? Let's look at Utah.
And for, anyone that's listening, and I know Jen has spoken on this. So when she's talking about these degrees and then them being the same, just as you said, some go faster than others, but like to have it be the same, like what's the word I'm looking for? The rarity, the whatever, like it's not a coincidence.
There's no coincidences ever.
There's no, and for that to be, it's as if like you and I, like you are walking down the street, whatever, I meet you and we have the same birthday at the same time, at the same hospital, and our moms were like next door in the rooms. That's how, do you get what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I'm listening.
So Utah's chart, Israel's chart, we have a degree that is a match. We're playing the numbers game, okay? So in the 10th house, this is the public image of Israel. Their moon is a 421, and it's in Leo. It's in Leo. Leo's kids. This is a kid. This 421, boom, that's where they make their mark. Utah makes their mark. They're part of
Leo,
fortune.
or I'm sorry,
Part
what's
of fortune is a 421, 421.
Okay.
This is a connection. When you're in the grocery store and you meet somebody, or you're somewhere and you're like, oh my God, it just seems like I've known you forever. It's because you're making there's a connection in your chart. There's a connection in their chart, and boom. Yeah.
That's a good way to is it analogy? Yeah. It's a good way to put that. That's good for learning how you just worded that. Okay.
Israel has now we're going to compare the chart of Israel and the United States. Okay. I think that this is very important, because we can all see what the connection really is, truly is, with the United States and Israel.
Can I ask you a question? And I don't want it to, if it takes too long or if it's just too much work for you to do, since we're doing it as a numbers, we're looking at the numbers. Can you take transits out of these wheels? I think it might be easier to view and for others to learn. Like maybe not right today, but the profound, like what you and I went over when it came to the numbers, like
if you do that, then you're gonna I have to go back. I have to backtrack, because there's things that are going to be connections that I can't see.
You've got to see.
You can only pull, if I'm only pulling, 10 points, or 10 points being the glyphs that we see here, then we're going to miss something.
Okay.
And so that's the reason why I am, sometimes we just have to,
like, just look at the numbers, guys.
You just have to
look at the numbers.
This is a part of the with the chart. And so if your astrology software is going to pull 50 points, pull them all. Pull them all. but because like the part of fortune, it may be not the dark moon, you know, it may not be with the glyphs that I'm pulling at the time.
I see.
But
I see.
it's a lot harder to go back
To
than
interpret,
it
yeah.
is to look at these, you know, to look at these degrees. But the United States of America, they have a Neptune. Here's the Neptune at a 22-25, and it's in Virgo. So Neptune is actually in its opposite sign in the ninth house. Okay, so let's think about this. What is the ninth house? The ninth house is religion.
Right.
Philosophy,
ideals.
it's the courts, it's the judge,
Yeah.
it's the justice. Even though people say, "Oh no, it's the seventh house." No, it's not. It's up here. It's both. It's both. Okay,
And
it's both. The judge is here.
Complete
This is college.
opposing.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
Complete opposition, like of each other, like ninth, like as in, it just came to me like we're gonna have. It's obvious the divide, like with religion. We're so like, you know, Neptune and Virgo is exactly what you said in the opposite sign, and we have it in the ninth house of our country. Isn't that wild? Oh my God! But let's go the numbers. I apologize.
It's okay.
This is
so
just
okay. So
exciting
moving
to me
on,
now.
this 22-25 Neptune. This is about religion. This is also about the Rona. When the Rona came over, allegedly, the Rona allegedly came over from China. Here is the dark moon, the disordered aggression with the future of home and groups with the United States. That's the connection. That is the connection that the United States of America has with Israel. This is not a fluke. This is real deal stuff. The 22-25, the religion, the philosophy, the judges, lots of disordered aggression with Israel. You can't talk about Israel. You can talk about the United States. Don't talk about Israel.
And the thing, oh my goodness.
Don't do it. Don't do it, because you're going to be offed. You're going to be offed.
And the thing is, hasn't it always been known, or we've been told that like Israel is the strongest ally of the United States?
They were created in 1948. So who all created Israel in 1948? Israel's not even, I mean, we are all a corporation. It's all about the money.
Right.
It's all about the money.
It's
all,
and I'm not saying that as
the weapons, you know, this is all about power. And I want to show you something too, that the United States, their Jupiter out of 556, this matches Elon Musk. This connection goes to Elon Musk. It goes to China. China rises up at 556. That degree with China, the United States, and Elon was also in transit before this event took place. It took place at a 550. Look at that. The day before, they were all in transit together with the physician Apollo, who brings enlightenment, but that physician is in Scorpio. Other people's money. Mm-hmm.
It's something that will cause.
You can see, when you're following the degrees with the different agencies, with the different events, with the different countries and their leaders, you can dissect it all down to the root. When you're just looking at degrees and you forget about the sign for a moment, you take the signs, you take this, like we were just doing, you take this 22-25. 22-25, and you say, okay, this is about groups. This is about technology. This is about being gay, because Uranus is gay. Christ says, follow the man in the that's holding the pitcher. Follow him in the house that's holding the pitcher. Who is that? Well, the man that's following We shouldn't be following a man.
Right.
I mean, we
No
shouldn't.
other, no other
Because
before me.
the
Yeah.
women were carrying the pictures back in the day, so that's odd. So it's actually, it's really not odd if you think about it, because the house of groups is all different kinds of walks of life.
Right.
Different people.
Right. As
It's different eccentric people. But Israel has a major problem with that.
as we are an evolving, it's the evolving of, well, I mean, you can say evolving, but we're supposed to, but it's for the bigger, that's what that is. And you can, I have so many things that are coming in, girl, looking at these charts, and
When we
you
look at the
just
United
saying,
States, we can also see why Cuba is critical with the government, and it always will be, because this is where the drug runs are. It's not just in Mexico.
Oh, right.
The state of Tennessee, we connect to the United States with their dark moon. What happened in the state of Tennessee? Well, I'll tell you. We had a flood here. Neptune in Pisces was at a 2225, and it was opposing their 2225. And I asked my friends, kind of like I was doing with you, Shauna, and I said, let's observe this. I observed that there was a flood. There was a river in my backyard. There was 20 people that died. That's the connection.
Yeah, and my apologies. Was that the Mystic Camp?
Anybody?
That,
no, it wasn't the Mystic
that
Camp.
was local.
No, this
Where
was in
that at?
Waverly, Tennessee. And the 2524 that you see here, this is with Hygeia in the ninth house. This 2524 is where Donald Trump has a huge weight. This connection with the United States is a huge weight. It's where all of his problems come, with the justice, with religion, with foreigners. I mean, it's really easy when you connect the degrees and stop focusing on the sign. You focus on the degrees first, then you focus on the sign. And this is an innovative way to read astrology and to investigate. But
Because
this is
again,
Cuba all day.
these numbers.
047 is Cuba all day. This 1448, Saturn, well, that 1448, let's go back to Donald Trump. That 1448 in Libra, there's his 1448 in Libra in the second house.
And again, this is not like on a, like, this is rare. This is not.
This 1448
it's not,
is about
not
his
like
relationship.
a generational number, if that makes sense, like how there's generational.
This 1448 with Donald Trump is about his relationship with the United States and Kennedy. This 428 goes to Canada. His dark moon, Donald Trump's 428 goes to Canada. He has a darkness, a disordered aggression about Canada. He also has a disordered aggression with Gavin Newsom. And we see that. We see it. He has a breakup with the FBI. The FBI has a 1909 in their chart, and he break up with them about other people's money, things that are hidden, investigations in the 8th house, taxes. So, you know,
it all falls down.
It all does.
It's strong. That word just is, or that sentence is in my, I see it in like my brain, mind's eye. It all falls down. I don't know what that means. It's all for purpose. Okay. Doesn't mean like the world. Well, anyways, whatever your belief system is, like we're being, it's, I don't, I'm not trying to ramble, guys, but it's all for a greater purpose. Okay. Where whatever you believe in, it's bigger than just these events, but these events have to take place to get to the next. Okay. And what role that we choose to play matters. And the politics are going to be politics and politicky and whatever. What matters to the core is to be the best human you can be. And the fear that all of this can bring, watching the news, doing all that, And astrology and what you are doing helps to not only see the patterns, right? And your level of, and I love so much with your degree, and it's not just the theory of it. Astrologers don't talk about this. They'll only talk about, like, your, the 0, the 15, the 29, like the numbers are everywhere and everything. Like even you talking about like the 413, I'm over here adding 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an 8 because I'm a numbers person. Like I love numerology. So I think of it also in those terms, but that's just another layer. But anyways, I don't even know where I was getting at because this is so strong and what you're doing is great.
Well, thanks, babe.
Okay.
So this chart that I've got up right now is Kirk Kirk is talking about, Charlie is talking about on November 7th, 2023. November 7th, 2023. He is talking about donors, his donors from Israel. This chart right here sets the stage. It sets it into motion. This is why he is not with us. This sets it into motion, and I'm going to show you why. It's because the day that he says it, he talks about it on 2 occasions, and this one occasion on November 7th, 2023, he is talking about things that are going against Israel. This 2430 is in Aries. This 2430 with Zeus is in Libra. It's a complete opposition. So this 2430 Zeus, there's a magnetism with the law enforcement, with justice on him. On the public image, okay? This time period is where Kirk is drawing a lot of warring to him. A lot of warring to him. We have all of these degrees that you see on the outer wheel, I don't want to blow your mind. But let me just say that they all go and tie into this event with Charlie. The desires here, let me pull Charlie. Do I not have him up? It's showing up with the United States. It's showing up the outer wheel, that is. Not only is it showing up with the United States, but it's also showing up with the FBI and Trump. So I'm not sure exactly what time Charlie was born. That could be coming out. Hopefully that'll come out, and his wife will give that information. But let's look at that on November 7th. So I've got him being born around 5 a.m. He could have been born, like around 4 a.m., 4 to 5. That's what I'm thinking. But you can see that his lunar nodes of fate are 515. The desires here on November 7th are 516. So I can take him up maybe an hour, and he'll get to that. He'll get to that 516. There's a fate. There's a fate that has taken place on this day with Charlie. And what he was seeing, what he was noticing with his donors. And that is what, because Venus at a 2931, those values were being magnetized to him. These values with Venus are coming to this 2948 pretty quickly. But Venus had already come over his Venus. No matter what time he's born, that Venus and his Venus are making a connection with his magnetism. And he's talking critically about what does Venus represent? Money and values. Money and values.
I wonder what that I wonder what that event right there with Charlie looks like with Trump's natal.
What, this one right here?
Mm-hmm. No, of the November. The November.
The November one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we can look at that, because we can also look at it with the United States, but let's look at it with Trump. Yeah, let's look at it with Trump first. So the donors is going to be on the left. Trump is on the right. This degree that Trump has with the FBI is a 142. That outer wheel is showing up. That outer wheel is showing up at a 142, 143. This 143 is the FBI. The 911 is the United States. That 911, the midheaven, is where there's a breakup. There's a breakup here at a 911. A mitos is a breakup. You see a mitos, just know that there's a breakup. That's the immediate thing that I think of when I see a mitos. There's a breakup. So we see that there is a breakup with the midheaven. Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, here we go.
Between these two, I'm just making sure that you've got the donor chart and then Donald Trump, the breakup. Okay.
There's the breakup. Mm-hmm.
See, there's
a lot
something.
of energy. So see this 2235, this religion series. I mean, series is about, she's about directed energy and religion. This 2235 had already passed over the United States 2234. Okay, so let me show you. Ceres was sitting here, and then she comes in here. Whoo, then she comes here. 2234. And Ceres was at a 2235 in the 7th house of relationships. But when she was at a 2234, she sat here in the 8th house of death.
Wow.
It was coming.
So it was.
You can't go against.
Prophetic.
You cannot go. And there's a breakup during this time. There's a breakup with communications, and it's in Colorado.
Is that the 9th house or on the cusp? Really
353 is Colorado. 353 is Colorado. There's a breakup with someone there is things going on in Colorado at the same time.
Okay.
So let's go back to.
Wow.
And see, the dark moon had just come over. The disordered aggression had just come over. The 353 that Colorado has. Hold on. What else am I seeing?
Yeah, there
was a relationship that just gave this boy a conscious raising experience of a relationship when he's talking about the donors. There's a relationship with Jupiter, which is Tyler's Jupiter. His Jupiter is being contacted. What is Jupiter? It's the law. What is Jupiter? It rules the 9th house of foreign travels, of religion, of mythology, of college. Being shaken up here.
God.
He's being shaken up with a relationship that's in the law enforcement.
We could even take that chart and look at with Tyler too.
Yeah,
that's wild with Donald Trump as well, right there.
Oh yeah, we could really get down the rabbit hole with it. Hey y'all, thanks for hanging out with us, y'all. I mean, I don't mean to be. I'm not trying to be rude and not acknowledge y'all.
Yeah, and I apologize too. I can't see the chat. So hello, everyone. And this is a very, it's important to take anything that happens in the world and learn from it. And that's what we're doing. And that's what she's teaching using astrology, because you're going to see the patterns. Okay.
So this
it blows me away.
This 2117 there's going to be a breakup with values on this day with Kirk and Tyler.
Wow.
Kirk and Tyler. Things that he was talking about on November 7th about his donors is breaking up. There's a breakup with Tyler's values because Admetos is a slow mover. I can even show you this slow mover with Tyler's chart. Let's see if it changes in the day that he's born. So the 2117,
And that's
Let's go to
important
hours.
to say out loud about these degrees is that, again, this is not a coincidence. You don't just have these same
No,
numbers with another chart.
right. So this 2117 is going to remain that. So what happened that day? What happened that day with Tyler is he had a change of values. There was a breakup with his values, with money, his values. Okay. So this 2118 is about to shake him up. So Uranus, did Tyler meet him this day? What is happening on this day with Tyler? There is something happening with him and Charlie. Look at that. The 2118 is coming down to the 2117. Let's look at that.
Okay, yeah.
Let's look at that. 2117. When he gets shaken up, he's going to get shaken up, and there's a breakup with values, with groups. And it's coming right there. Boom, at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, boom. And if this is coming into the house of the past, this is coming into the house of the past. I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Okay, let's
sorry.
look at this. Let's look at this. Hold on. Hold up. This is going to Puerto Rico. I can already see it. I'm seeing a Puerto Rico. Hold on, Charlie. No. Tyler.
Guys, she has so many charts just memorized. So when she's just saying she can already see it with something else, it's because she just has these memorized.
Yeah, and it can come into great handy, especially once we start realizing. Yeah, because see, the sun is about to shine at that 1522. Hygeia is at the 1522. That's Puerto Rico. So there's things going on in Puerto Rico as well. There's something that is taking place here, and it's from the past. And he gets shaken up. He gets shaken up with groups. Tyler does. And there's a breakup.
We need to look at Puerto Rico?
There's a breakup with groups that he's having here. Huh?
Do you think we should look at the Puerto Rico? Do you think that will give us more, like what was happening at that time?
I mean, you could Google November 7th, 2023 and Puerto Rico.
Like Puerto Rico.
At 6 p.m. I mean, if there's anything that Google is going to show us.
Because if you're seeing that, just because your memory, you know what I mean, you just know.
Look at that. There's 138. That is Donald Trump. Wow. So Donald Trump is getting information here. There's information with Donald Trump. That 138 is him. We just saw that. That 138 is Donald Trump. He's receiving information. These doorways with the co-ascendant, co-descendant, polar descendant, this is a doorway of communications. He's receiving information about a kid.
Well, let's see.
Puerto Rico.
Hold on. November. Hold on. You've got November 7th. Hold on. 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what? And you were, okay. What was Trump November 7th, 2023? Who knows? I mean,
hold on. Let me finish this for a second.
Okay, my apologies.
So what is happening here is there's something beginning and ending with the house of kids, the way that we create. And Venus is opposing Tyler. Venus is on its way. Venus is already opposing Tyler. Okay. Venus, his values are opposing Israel.
That's
Israel. And it's about the donors. Okay. So what is donor? What is a donor?
What is a donor?
What would that be considered? It would be Pisces. It's charity.
Could be Virgo, service, donor.
It's charity. So the charity, the donors in this Pisces and the Virgo energy, the values are being shaken up. He's getting a wake-up call. And he is investigating. He's investigating Charlie with groups.
And we just had the clips.
There's a breakup with groups. Did he talk to Tyler? Did Tyler and Dude talk this day?
What was 6 months ago?
Whoa.
The Virgo Pisces eclipse that we just had, obviously, right? That axis. Well, the Pisces, yeah. Oh my, there's a lot here. Okay. So what was 6 months ago, and then what was 6 months prior? That energy with the I'll think. You keep talking. My apologies.
So 1336. Let's go back. Hold on. 1336, 1332. There's something happening here with Tyler and this dude.
We need to.
Their communications. There's a breakup with a group from his past. There's a breakup with a group from his past. Look at that, 2857, 2859. Let me look at this chart with it. November 7th.
20.
And then this chart when he shot, or right before. Look at that. Okay, so the moon is at 28.
There we go. I can see better that you did that. Okay.
2857. So here's the moon. The moon is reflecting the anti-vertex and what we are learning. This 2859. This is Tyler. This is Tyler. And it's the
Do you
day.
see the reverse? Are you seeing that even? Which, okay, we're doing the numbers first, but look
I gotta
at the
pull up
angles.
Epstein. I'm sorry,
Oh
but I've
my
got to pull him up real
goodness.
quick. I got to pull Epstein up because this is something a lot deeper than us.
Much deeper and bigger and larger scale and world and something bigger and above.
Where's Epstein?
Is he a distraction? Is it part of? I don't know. Is it?
I'm gonna have to look at Epstein's chart with Puerto Rico too. Like
right,
what?
right. You and your memorization of these numbers.
There it is. Look at that. 2234.
Put the arrow there so I can.
2234.
Oh. Yeah.
Transformation with the kid. Venus is coming to his desires. What? Hold up.
Wow.
Look at that. There's a devouring energy that's opposing him. There's a devouring energy with Kronos this day that is opposing him and his Chiron. What? What? So see, the sun is shining when he gets shot. The sun is shining at an 1817 in Virgo. The sun is shining on Jeffrey Epstein's midheaven. Y'all, I'm sorry. I hate to say this.
Is anybody paying attention
there's
to
a
the angles
possibility
of
that
every
this dude
single?
ain't even dead. Look at that. There's the 2420. There's the 2420.
Is that what's the?
With Netanyahu. Let's go on back up. There he is. Netanyahu, 2420. There's his desires. With the 2217. 1911.
But why this kid?
Hold on, 1911. Hold on.
OMG.
1911. That's Israel. Okay, so that's okay. Never mind.
The preacher.
What?
I'm picking up some stuff now.
Wow. Okay, so let me look at the 2234 is where he is connecting. Jeffrey Epstein is connecting to the United States. That's where Ceres this day is coming over. This is about the Epstein. Did he say something about Epstein? Did he say something about Trump? What did he say this day? We're going to have to dissect what all he said on November 7th, 2023. There's a breakup with two people with the communications in Colorado.
What was going down in Colorado? Like, what was Trump doing in 2023? Was he rallying? Like, what was he doing, saying? I don't know. But we see the same numbers with him with that November 7, 2023 chart. So there's something with him. But, like, here's the thing. What? Just keep going. Keep going.
Well, Jeffrey Epstein definitely has a discord with Mexico. The drugs, Mexico. Okay. There it is. All right. So, and he has the 2706. What? Hold on. Let me go back up. 2706. Look at that. is not happening. Look at that, 2706. So we're getting information. When I sent you that chart, it was because Elon had just come into transit. And then I noticed Donald and Israel and Mexico. And that
Which are all big
and there was
things that are going.
information that is going through. This 1108 is Ghislaine Maxwell. So we've got Ghislaine. Hold on just a second. Hold on. Let me talk this out.
Yeah.
So we have Ghislaine. We have Ghislaine rising. And then we have information with Epstein. And we already saw the Department of Justice in this. We've seen that there is Donald Trump, Elon, and Ghislaine. I'll show you Ghislaine momentarily, but this 1919 is most certainly her. And so is this 1108. And then there's a relationship with an 18821. This is, we'll have to look at this with Ghislaine too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if anybody wants to talk about a Mossad, nobody is looking at her. It was her dad that they said that was the Mossad. I mean, the man wasn't even Jewish, and he's buried in Israel.
Wait, hold on. What?
What?
You're talking about? I did not
Gislaine's
know
dad,
that.
Robert Maxwell, who had a gazillion names, but
They're
let's
from.
see.
I know she's not. I know that she's not from here, but that she's from Israel. Like
No.
who? Like where's she from? Like what's her thing? Who's? I apologize. I must not. Who?
No, it's okay. It's
Who
okay.
are you talking about?
don't know who her dad is, huh?
I don't.
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
I know that she's like not from here, right? She's not like originally from like America, whatever. Don't laugh
Girl,
at me.
you're gonna have to go down the rabbit hole.
You know, I go down rabbit holes, but I know
Let me just go ahead and pull her
you're
chart up.
introducing me to more, and I love it.
Let's go ahead and pull her chart up and let's talk about her for a second, because
Sure.
her dad, who changed his name a bunch, he's I mean, you know, I consider him a sellout. Okay, but hold on. This 1919.
Wait, can I say something, Jen, really quick?
Yeah.
Is it just me, or, and I know we're doing the numbers game, is it just me, or does every chart have the same angles? Or just little flips?
I have no idea. I'm not even looking at the angles.
Girl,
I'm
everything
really,
is the.
I'm trying to figure out.
It's wild.
By the degrees of what we can decipher here. You know, what can we decipher here? Because this is going a lot deeper. Okay.
Right.
And if we were to just focus on the degrees and just really focus, we're going to get somewhere, and we'll get somewhere together, because I was just talking about the 445. Wow. She's got it. You know, do you remember who has that? Here is the transformation with home and publicity at an 1108. This chart that I sent you rises at an 1108, and it's in Sag. What is Sag? Is fire. It's the pew, pew, pew. Okay. It's the justice. It's the judge. It's the judge. It's foreign travel. Okay. So that's what we can decipher right here. But
who's
this girl has a dream of life. So she matches. So the sun is shining on the midheaven of Epstein. The Venus at a 1919 is in the 8th house of death, with a emphasis on a weight of home in Utah. This 1919 is in Leo. It's about the values of kids.
Right.
Her kids. So this 1919 is not just about kids, it's about publicity. And that is where we have a flame of life from the past, prisons and hospitals. There it is, 1919. And then you see values are a 50. Hold up. Her values are a 50, 0050 in Cancer. And then the 8th house of death, we have Capricorn. So we got a 0050, a 0050. On November 7th at 6:00 p.m., we have a 0050.
What the fuck?
Mhm. Uh-huh.
It's,
Okay.
I think these are all coinciding because these are the things that have pushed us to get, holy shit, I can't even find the words right now. Wow.
Mhm.
Keep talking, girl.
When it comes to the FBI, she connects to the FBI through her Venus in the 7th house of relationships. How does she connect to the FBI with relationships? It's in because this is actually rising here with her relationships at an 11 degree
With FBI?
with the justice.
Wow.
The FBI rises in Libra at a 2542. They descend in Aries at a 2542. And that's where her values are with the judge, is with the FBI, the justice system, the foreign travel, the
Anybody
religion,
getting
the
that? Anybody
philosophy.
picking up on this and what that means? Holy moly. Um,
Yep.
wow.
Yeah. So we can definitely say that there's a moon at a 2853, and the moon is going to go 18, 28, 54, 55, 56. There's a relationship. The moon is coming to a relationship that gives her a conscious raising experience, a friend group. Who's her friend group?
Hmm.
Okay. Then the moon is going to come and it's going to make contact with this 2856. Oh, but it's in Aries. Don't matter. Just follow. Then it goes from 2856, then 2857. Boom. The 9th house of foreign travel, a philosophy of religion. And that's where she has limits and obstacles with authority.
Okay.
So we don't think of her being as Mossad, but look at this midheaven. The midheaven is at a 2634. The IC is at a 2634. So that's quickly going to go to the 26 degrees that she has in her chart. She's learning something with communications, or she's teaching something with communications about two. And they
Telling.
God, too.
She's telling. There's something. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then the 26, she also has another 26 up here, 2648. So the moon is, the moon has already went over here. There's a breakup. The moon at a 26 degree and 48 minute, there's a breakup. With prison and hospital, things of the past, with warring. We can't make this up, especially when you do it by degrees.
Oh my gosh. Because again, as I'm learning, and I'm just saying this out loud for anyone that's new coming in, or you guys are just, this is not, these are not numbers that just happen when they line up.
They're connections. They're definite connections.
Yeah.
The connections are being made. And when the connections are being made,
what's the
there's
story?
an expression. There's an expression that is taking place. And so the Department of Justice has a 445. This is where they have a breakup. The Department of Justice has a breakup at a 445 in Pisces. That breakup is with Ghislaine. That breakup at a 445 was here in the 4th house of home with mom and home and lineage and genealogy. This 445, this is where she's magnetized. So her magnetism and the Department of Justice, they are in an opposition. They oppose one another, right? So it's very interesting to see how these degrees can start telling a story.
Yeah.
And,
what date is this? Her birth chart? My apologies, because I can't see.
Yes, this is definitely her birth chart. Yes.
Can we look at? I don't know how you would do like a transit. Well, you don't even need you don't even need a look at me. You can see the transit without pulling the transit. Jeez. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay. Now I'm really interested in Puerto Rico because this is showing up in the future groups in Puerto Rico. So I'm interested to see if Jeffrey matches Puerto Rico or where this Puerto Rico, where this is, you know, what we're
Yeah.
seeing here. Look at that. The vertex is in 821. So let's go back. So there's definitely things going on
Did you see that
in Puerto
with his?
Rico on November 7th,
And we need
2023, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
That may
And
not have anything to do with what we're talking about, but they were definitely in transit.
but there's something, yeah. And we need to look at
Okay, opening day of the
Tyler's
tournament.
chart with Puerto Rico. I wonder if there's something coming in, like there's a lineage, like there's something. Hold on a second. Oh, okay, I'm reading what you.
Okay, so that's what it was.
I can dig while you pull.
So November 7th.
Okay, say it again. November 7th.
November 7th, they were having
Puerto Rico. Okay.
what?
I'm talking to myself. I apologize. I didn't realize I was still on the mic.
Introduction. Oh, that's okay. The Puerto Rico State Council applauding the Senate introduction of the Puerto Rico Status Act. The intention of the bill is to grant Puerto Rico an unincorporated to choose among different non-territorial status options. Huh.
Whoa. Didn't we talk about Cuba a minute ago though too? Just a side little cap. Let's. I don't
But
know if
you understand what happened with. You
Yes.
understand what happened with Kennedy.
Yes.
And okay, so Kennedy and Cuba. Okay, as long as you know why our 11th house of groups with Hades and Scorpio is connected to Cuba. And the reason why is because of the hidden money, drugs. Okay. And the Cuban Missile, all of that stuff. I mean, you know, it's our hell with groups goes to Cuba. And it's not going to change until the United States chart changes. But this is very interesting that this is what is happening. It's the Puerto Rico status.
On it.
So
I'm going to read on it. Oops.
And I'll put a link in the chat early on for anybody that wanted to join in the discussion. Anybody that wants to join in can. Yeah. You don't have to know astrology or anything like that.
It's not just me, y'all.
Oh shit, no unpinned message. Here it is. I've pinned it. So if anybody wanted to join the discussion, you don't have to know astrology, but I'm just going over this because it really matters. The degrees in our charts matter. And I prove this every day, all day to myself. And when I come on here, I'll prove it to you guys. And of course, I'm connected to Ghislaine. I'm connected to her in a big way. In a big way. So I want to look at Puerto Rico now because there's something, I just want to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence, because this day where there's a breakup that happens with the donors, I was seeing Puerto Rico. The conscious raising experience with a relationship. No. That was, let me get it right here. This is when it comes into Tyler. No matter what time Tyler is born, this is when there's something happening with him, with what Charlie Kirk is saying, and Puerto Rico. And it may not have anything to do with one another, but I think that it's very interesting because there is a conscious raising experience with a relationship at this time in the 5th house of kids, schooling. There's something that begins and ends. And Venus is at a 2936. Hold on. Venus is at a 2936.
Hold on. Which one are you on? Ghislaine?
Hold on. I'm just going to flip-flop. Hold on.
Okay, sure. Sorry.
2936. We got the 2934 that day. I'm just making sure she's got the 2934 that goes to California. Okay, so we go back. So we have this relationship. Hold up. We have this relationship. We're rising at a 1748. Oh, God. Is this what?
No, in the making.
Huh. So there's a shakeup. There's a shakeup with groups. There's a shakeup with groups. And home, that's what that's about. What we were just talking about. Interesting that that would happen that day. And there's so much to see here. 135. The energy here.
That's big energy on that day for Puerto Rico, or that Puerto Rico chart. I want to see that with Robinson when you're done.
So
Holy.
it would have went over the 2934. He was talking that day. He is talking, and Tyler's getting shaken up. There's limits and obstacles with information that's coming in with the government. 2558. $22.21. That's the United States. That's the United States, I think. I got to look at her with them. Hold on. With Puerto Rico. Just making sure that she's not, there's not something I'm missing here. And I'm going through it so quick. I don't think so. I don't see anything just yet. But that 1711, it rises with the 1711. So that could be, could just be that things are going on in Puerto Rico that this chart is catching. You know, that's more than likely what it is. There's a devouring energy at home with Puerto Rico, and there's a low point with the United States there at home. But that 1529, on this day when Kirk is talking about his donors, there's a devouring energy, and it's with Puerto Rico. This 1529. There's a justice here in the fifth house of kids. The house of kids. The it could be, you know, it's also, there's a lot of things that were going on that day in Puerto Rico, like the opening ceremony of something. So that fifth house of kids can also be definitely about the competition, because the fifth house of kids is also about competition. It's ruled by Leo. So there's a wake-up call.
It's kind of like a shared energy is what I'm just picking this up. I'm like a shared energy, almost like what his like almost what he was doing that day and that purpose with the, if I'm wording that right. What does Tyler's look like with Puerto Rico?
I'm pulling it.
There you go.
Not knowing exactly what time he's born, it's going to be hard to say exactly and feel confident about it.
Yeah.
I would be more confident to look at his chart or somebody else's chart with Puerto Rico that he would have been influenced by, you know.
Okay.
But this was Puerto Rico. I'm sorry. Puerto Rico and Tyler Robinson. Let's see if there's anything. Hey, Kiki Law. Hey, y'all. Thanks for hanging out and just doing a deep dive.
Whoa.
Basically what we can do.
Well.
So if he was born earlier, that 2557 could be the magnetism here.
Yeah. Okay, that's just okay.
Let's see. 539. So see, like Poseidon and Tyler's chart, that 539 is a non-mover. So it's going to stay that. The 2121, that should be a non-mover. It should stay there unless it could be a 2122. Like I was just talking about with, where was I looking at? No, that's I'm thinking of a 22. 22, 31, his Apollo, the physician, his Zeus, that's going to stay the same. That's going to be the same degree. There's a breakup here. Epstein. That's what I want to look at. Epstein in Puerto Rico. Excuse me. So see how he connects to the United States. That 2234 that he has, he connects to the United States 12th house outer wheel and the 6th house outer wheel. Lots of publicity here with the courts. With the courts. Can't make it up, man. Can't make it up. He does definitely connect to, he definitely connects to Puerto Rico. So his second house values with the government, with authority, this 1529, Puerto Rico, there's a justice here with kids, with competition, with the 5th house of creativity. So he's definitely making a connection there. There's definitely a connection there. He could have went to Puerto Rico and that's the connection. Maybe there was something that happened there and that's why that Chiron, something happened with the government of Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be his connection to Puerto Rico for sure. For sure. A shakeup. Hold up. A shakeup with the 1555. So I could have Tyler's chart right. Jeffrey Epstein.
I think you do.
Get shaken up with Tyler. With Mercury. Where did Tyler go? Hold on, there he is.
This is why I'd like to see a transit between those two.
So this 1555 that he gets shaken up with the 8th house of death at home that shakes him up is definitely with Tyler and the friend group. Tyler's Mercury. Again, we're talking about communications, the power of the mind, and 2, the mental, the communications, the writing, the symbolism on the casings. The 1555 shakes him up. Shakes him up. Devouring energy. 0001.
That's. Can I ask you a question about just a transit or just a placement really quick? Can you, because I can't see the chart very well, can you tell me if his Merc squares Neptune in his natal chart, Robinson?
Yeah.
Really quick. Sorry, I don't mean to get off the numbers because I just want to see.
What do you want me to look at? The Mercury?
I want to see if his Merc squares Neptune in his
It
natal
does.
chart. It does. Okay.
Yeah. So his Mercury at a 15 degree in
I can't even.
Taurus is squaring the Neptune. And that this 1257, I've got it. I just don't know. I had it. I had this chart pulled up yesterday that's got this 1257. I had it pulled up yesterday, but I can't remember who it is. But I'm going to find it. I can promise you that. That Neptune.
I can't see. Let's see. Yeah, we got to find that. There's something. There's something that just came to me to ask that about that specific placement.
And his Mercury opposes Juno. So his Juno is a 1615, and I'm going to get it to that 1614 because that's going to be Trump. That 1614 is Trump and Virginia. 1614 is definitely Trump.
Is there anything with Charlie? Do we have Charlie's birth?
I don't have his birth time.
Okay.
No, I don't have his birth time, and I don't have Tyler's birth time. So that's where it goes. You know, I can put Tyler.
Did he live in Idaho or Utah? I apologize, Charlie. Do we know that? Did he live there?
Yeah, I showed you the map. He lives on the Mars line.
That was what
he
you were
lives on the
showing?
Mars and Libra line.
That was just my apologies because that's when I was energy. So okay. Wow. Okay. There's something there with that, Jen. So he lived there.
Yeah.
He lived in you. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay. So I okay. There's a connection, I think, a bit deeper with him.
The 22.
Personally,
So this is what
not
the
to sound
most important part is on his map. That connection of 2217 that he has in his chart, Shauna, during the event, that 2217 goes to Netanyahu's outer wheel. Mars was in the 11th house of Libra. That's where he lives. Tyler lives on the 22 degree of Libra with Mars. And it goes to Netanyahu. You see what I'm saying? Like the
So
maps
like,
aren't going to lie. The maps and the charts aren't going to lie. Now, the way we perceive them,
right.
Now that could be where you get all jacked up. But I mean, especially if you're looking at anything other than the degrees first.
Right. There's
The
something
degrees in our chart literally matter in the state of matter. And I try to, that's the biggest push.
And most astrologers will never start with that. And
Arizona's where, I was thinking she was saying where. I'm sorry. I was thinking you were saying where Tyler lived. You're asking about where Charlie lives?
Like,
that's a great question.
Yeah. Like, did he live in Utah?
It's not. It's just going to keep on. So Charlie lived in Arizona. Do you know what part of Arizona?
I don't know. I want to know if he's ever lived in Utah. Can anyone look that up? There's I feel like there is something deeper. Charlie.
Who?
Charlie, if he's ever lived in
JD
Utah.
brought him home yesterday. Do y'all know where about in Arizona? I don't think so, but I don't know. So this is where Tyler lived. This is the most important part of this map. This is where the shooter lived, because I'm looking for the shooter. Right? I'm looking for the shooter. So if we're looking for the shooter, Mars in the 11th house of Libra, well, shouldn't that be where he's found? So I had 3 hot spots. But that Mars in Libra, it's got to be a hot spot. But only put it there because I was thinking he would go across. Do y'all know whereabouts in Arizona? because here's Phoenix, Arizona, and this is the South Node in Virgo. If he lived in Phoenix, Arizona, or Tucson, that's where the South Node is. Phoenix, yeah. Okay, so Phoenix, Arizona, there we are. So this line is representing the shooter. This line with the South Node in Virgo is the home. Phoenix, Arizona. So that makes sense. That makes sense that this would be where Charlie lived. Actually, it would be more like right there. A one Libra, or even a zero Libra. Something begins and ends with the justice system.
Wow. Whoa.
And I'm really wondering now. I'm really wondering now. Oh, there's so much to see and so much to talk about. That is also where the Turning Point USA headquarters is located. Okay. The South Node in Virgo. I'm just wondering where Tyler, do y'all know if Tyler had went to one of his or if ever went to what is that, an event, went to Charlie Kirk's.
We
I
may
just
not know
wondered
that
if
yet, but I think that you're correct. There's a connection between them two that's a little bit more than just his views, I believe. I feel that. And there's something with him living or staying longer, something with Utah. Maybe, he lived in Arizona like for however long.
I bet you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had to have went to one. Maybe he debated him about an issue, because there's something that comes back around. The South Node is showing we've been here before. We've been here before with health. And so I think that they've had some type of relationship. I don't know if he attended an event, but it definitely came out in the cards for me. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I think he did. And there's something about, let's look at the November 7th.
That's
With Charlie Kirk, because this is where it stems from. I think it's rooted here. I think it's rooted here. November 7th. I think there's a root here, y'all.
I agree.
October 7th. November 7th. What was happening on November 7th? That was October. So October, November. So that's a month later. So a month later, he must be talking about. Interesting. Hold on. Oh, let's see. April 5th, October 7th. Come on, y'all. Help me out here. Why isn't it? Come on. Why isn't it telling me November 7th? Because I got two dates. I got the 1st and the 2nd, but the 2nd one is pulling big time. Let me go to YouTube. Maybe that's where I could find it. There's something, 2 days that were written on one news thing, and I charted them both. Oh, it's probably not going to show me anything about it. Well, damn. Dang it. Oh. Oh, I thought somebody came up. Did you go down, Shauna?
I think so. Can you hear me? There I am. Girl, he
Yeah,
did
I
live
can
in
now.
Utah. He did live in Utah. I just pulled it up.
He did?
He lived in Utah. I don't know for how
Okay.
long. There's something with that. And I'd like to see if he's also got.
What's the
Now we're
address that he
doing
lived
numbers.
at?
I just found a news from one day ago. Charlie Kirk lived in the Valley and attended church at Dream City Church. This was 12 News, like local news. This was yesterday. I haven't had a chance to look at it. That's the first thing I pulled up. So there's something, uh, there's something there. So I'm writing down Dream Church. And this whole
Dream
pastor preacher,
City
this
Church
whole
in. Okay, there's a Dream City Church in Phoenix there. Can you hear me?
dream. Yeah, I can, honey.
Can
Can you
you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dream City Church is in Phoenix, Arizona. Is there one in Utah?
What I'm looking at says Utah. So I'm looking at the local news
Okay.
station. Hold on a moment. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I don't see a Dream City Church in Utah, babe. It's all
Charlie
in
Kirk
Phoenix,
lived
Arizona. There's Phoenix,
in the
Arizona.
valley and attended church at Dream City. So I think I'm reading the top article. So let me just go.
Yeah, you're talking about you're reading
So
Phoenix, babe.
So
So
I
that's
think how
Phoenix.
they hold on. I'm gonna dig a little bit further. Hold on a second. Sorry, you go on. My apologies. Hold on.
Oh, so that's a 1 Libra. All right, so I don't guess I can find the exact. Let's see if I go to Charlie's. What is this?
Jen, can you hear me?
Oh, well. Do you think he will, April? You think he'll be picking up the mic for Charlie? Are you talking about Ben Shapiro? Because that's the last video that he did. And it seems to me that Charlie was not such a big lobby donor, cheerleader the last couple of years of his life, especially the last month of his life. And I think that that's why they took him down. I'm not a fan of Ben Shapiro because he got way too excited about the genocide that's taken place in Gaza. So I definitely, I hope that he doesn't. I hope he don't, because that last video that they had him and Ben, and then him going, I don't know. He seems like Ben Shapiro. If he were to flip on Israel, the same thing's going to happen to him. I think. Ben said he would be on his post. Yeah. Well, when Charlie was talking about all of the money and all of the problems with Israel, he didn't talk that much about the fact that he did talk about it. Raises a lot of questions for me when it comes to his support for Israel. This, you know, the state that was created in 1948. I just think that he was catching on, and I think that that's why he went on Tucker Carlson's show. I think he was being. I think he knew. I think he knew that he was not going to be able to get those donors if he flipped the script. And Ben seems like a good old boy. He's definitely not going to flip the script. Ben Shapiro, this was the last video that he did. You know, this is the last video that he did. With Ben. And he's talking about Qatar, what critics are saying about Israel, and he had already been coming out. That's why I've got the November 7th chart. I've got the November 7th chart up because that's where Charlie talks about it. So I'd have to go back 2 years. 2 years on here to even try to find it. Oh, Shauna. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he also knew they would take him out, and I think that they did. There's something more sinister here with this boy. And eventually I think we'll find out. It could be 50 years from now. You know, everybody when 9/11 took place, everybody believed the narrative. And I would say that people are going to believe the narrative on this one too. So yeah, we're only at 3 weeks. This was 2 years ago. I don't know how I could find that video. Yeah, and I think that he was, I think that Charlie, from just all the videos and stuff and shorts and stuff that I've watched of him, he does appear like he was flipping the script, and they knew it. They knew it. So this was 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago. Woke debate, Black Lives Matter. Let's see. 2 years ago. Drag is free speech. Okay. Charlie Kirk shuts down feminists with a PhD in confusion. Yeah, the timing of it with that. Whew. Like I said, you can talk about the United States all day, every day, but don't you dare talk about Israel. That's where all the money is, honey. Follow the money. Deranged leftist wants to abolish prisons. Gets crushed. Abolish prisons. Let's just make sure that this ain't our dude. Wow. I'm really glad that he was talking would have been his. The future would have been his, and they can't have that. They can't have that, honey. You know, no way, Jose. Can't happen. The key to the Phillies, Karen, that everyone is missing. That's 2 years ago. And I mean, he had a lot of videos. So, Lib student stunned by big ideas. That's a year ago. He says he's socialist student manages to troll himself. Oh, you're not able to hear anything I'm playing? Well, damn. Because of StreamYard. So let me remove that. Let me remove that. That's the problem. That's the whole problem. Share the screen. For some reason, you can only do it on the Chrome tab. If I share my entire screen, you can't hear anything. Which really sucks everything. I mean, you should be able to. Smackdown critical race theory. So I'm just looking to see if there's anything that could catch my eye here. Slavery. Let's see. While he's talking to these students and see if there's any, because I'm just wondering if this guy has been to one of his rallies, and I want to say it could have been like 2 years ago. If he's 22, he was 20, and that could have been, I mean, it could go. They have taken down so many. Yeah, I mean, we're probably not going to be able to see much with that. Yeah, it's the Numa. Got to stop talking. You know, some people say it ricocheted off of his vest. I don't know. I don't know that. Let's see. Well, this is a short.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
No. Well, dang. Yep, not going to show it. Not going to show any hand signals. His arm. I don't know if that's if that's the signal that they're talking about. You see, he just stretched his arm out. Let's see. Somebody over here, but he's stretching his arm out over here. Let's go back. Hold on. Well, this guy's security. See how he stretches his arm out? Hold on. Watch him. He's his hands. His hands are together. He's holding his hands, and then he's going to extend the right arm out. So if that is that could be, I guess, a sign. Hey, babe. So he's going to stretch his arm out, and as soon as he stretches his arm out, he gets offed. Did a hand hat code, yeah, like military. Then who's the camera in his hand and to the opposite side, as if not to record where the shooter was. Don't play the whole video. Okay.
Counting or not counting game.
Yeah, he does his arm, and then boom, that's when it happens. Is something going on with this video? You don't want me to play it all, April? Are we going to see something else or something that we don't want to see? Let me know. But yeah, that hand right there, it's doing something. He does something with this. That's a trip. What they blur? Yeah, I see this guy. Yeah. But I'm talking about this guy right now with the arm. That's clear. That's clear as day. This happens, and then he gets offed. I see the guy in the white. He's still got his hands the same way. I don't see his right hand yet. Yeah, I don't see the
Oh my God. Go, run.
anything. Okay. Yeah, I don't see him doing anything. Yeah, it was about mass pew-pews. Yep. That's the craziest thing. Let's see. Did Tyler Robinson ever meet Charlie and Kirk? Yeah, I understand. Thank you, April. Thank you, babe, for looking out for me. Shooting says, let's see. We're going to know. I mean, we probably won't know today, but we're going to know. Hold on. Who is Tyler? Engraved a message on a bullet casing reading, "Hey, fascist, catch." I thought he had some other kind of inscription on there. Now it's different? Hold on. Let me keep reading. Wow. Had a gray Dodge Challenger. So he was seen arriving on the university campus at 8:29 a.m., 4 hours before Kirk was hit. His family had told police that he had become more political in recent years. I could have sworn that they told us. Maybe they are not the ones. Maybe it was some other social media influencer. But I could have sworn. Okay, hold on. Investigators found a high blah, blah, blah. Messages had been scrawled on the casings reading, Hey, fastest catch. Or, and, oh, Bella Chia. If you read this, you're gay, LMAO. And notices bulges. What? Italian song. Second World War. Okay, so if you go, y'all, this is all a part of this energy, because this is what I was talking about with the full moon and the lunar eclipse. We're going back. That's where we're going back to in time. Reference is a joke. I thought, did y'all not hear too that he had something about what the hell? Mrs. Robinson describes her son as a genius and shares his ATC grades for English, math, science. He was exceptionally bright. He is exceptional. He is. She wrote that she was hoping he'll pick a Utah college and stay close to mama. Huh. Well, so I could have sworn that it was going around that there was some kind of other stuff written on these casings. Did y'all not hear that? He had just answered a question from an audience member about mass shootings committed by transgender people when he was hit. The messages. Wow. Definitely different than what we were hearing early on. Definitely different than what we were hearing early on. Because early on, the inscription was said to be so different. No, I didn't see the release of a book. 2 news agencies speaking about what occurred the day before. Well, that's not transgender. That doesn't say anything about transgender. It says if you're reading this, you're gay. That doesn't say anything about transgender to me. This is what he supposedly wrote. What? The casing that had been fired read, notices bulges, OWO. What's this? What? Hold on. Yeah, it didn't. I didn't hear anything about transgender on all those videos that I watched. I didn't see anything about that. It's part of an internet meme and slang that circulated in 2018 and 19. Yeah, this doesn't say anything about transgender, y'all. If you read this, you're gay. I mean, gays aren't transgender. Trans are trans. It has ties to animated videos and furies. OWO references emoticon. And what's this denotes cuteness and curiosity. Video game streamers. He took his video game to real life. Bella Ciao, or whatever that says, is an Italian song dedicated to the resistant fighters against the Nazi troops occupying the country during World War II. There it is. Wow. Wow. I don't think, they were trying to spin it as a trans, but doesn't look like trans to me. Yeah, I heard him say something about, he was talking about mass shootings, but I didn't. Either way, the spin that they were trying to make early on about this inscription with transgender is completely false. That's not true at all. If that's what it was actually on the casing that got him, or these other casings, it has nothing to do with trans here. Oh, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine what his family is going through. Notices, bulges. World War II. Oh, Lord. So sad. World War II. Yeah. What they just want to incite us. That's what they want to do. They want to incite, right? That's what they want to do. World War. I'm going to look it up real quick and see if I've got that chart. I don't know if we have if I have one. So sad, y'all. Oh, so sad. I'm about to pull this chart up with World War II. Well, you're not going to believe this. I think you will. I think you will. Let's just go ahead and put up this chart. Let's see. Hold on. Dude, this is... Hold on. Stop sharing. Okay, hold on. I'm about to show you the chart because I think that we got some clarity here, right? We got some clarity when it comes to a motive or what we think it could be a motive. I've got World War II, Neptune, USA. So this is definitely worth looking at because this is the chart that I have created from August 29th, 1939. This is at 10 p.m. And I stop it here, I guess, because this is where the Neptune in the United States, Neptune, that 2225, remember that 2225 Neptune in the United States in the 9th house in Virgo goes to the disordered aggression and the darkness with groups. And it comes back around in the future. Because until Israel's created another time, this is going to be a pattern. It's going to be a pattern. Going to be a pattern. So the United States has a 2411 in their chart. That's where that's going to come to. 2941, that is the flame of life. So there's a wake-up call with communications and Israel. with World War II. So yeah, it's going back to World War II. Interesting. And we've got a transformation here at a 135 in Leo. 135 in Leo. Let's go ahead and look at that 135 in Leo. Let's go back up. Go back up. Kirk on donors. Let's keep on going. Where's that at? So we've got Pluto at a 137 and it's coming down in degree to the 135. That's what we're looking at today, right? Is that what we're looking at today? A 135 with Pluto? And it is. Look at that. So let's just go ahead and save this chart. Because we are going back in time to World War II and the Nazis. This is, I think, yeah. So it is what it is. And the moon is in Taurus. The moon is reflecting our values with health and our everyday, just our everyday. And these are the values. And this 2909 is coming down in degree. Saturn is still at a 29 critical degree and coming down into the 2908, 2907, 2906. Yep. Can't make it up. Trump is going to have a lot of disorder. He's going to be transformed tomorrow. Could be today, but there's going to be a lot of transformation with his health. With the disordered aggression of the pew. All this religious wars have nothing to do, absolutely zero to do with the Christ. Zero. And the Christ has zero to do with the created Israel of 1948. And that's that. That's that. The vertex is going to be intensifying. Epstein, there we are. People are still talking about Epstein. They're not going to let Epstein go. Not going to let Epstein or Jizzy go. It ain't happening. Could I create a Genesis 1 chart? 111? Huh. I don't know. A Genesis 111? This is so interesting to me. We're not going to let it go. Epstein isn't going to, all the Epstein files, it's not going to be let go. Not happening. Not happening. There's still this breakup with Tennessee. There's things going on in other cases. There's a lowest point today. There's a low point today with the TBI. The TBI. I'm seeing the TBI. I'm going to switch it for a second. Hold on. There's a low point with the TBI today. With the physician. It's also hitting their midheaven. This is the TBI. There's things going on with the TBI. They've got enlightenment. There's a lot of problems with relationships at home with Chris. What is happening? The values are coming into the FBI. Something is taking place. with the TBI. Religious wars have never had anything to do with Christ consciousness. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, y'all. You just can't. It's how can anybody equate the Christ with upheaval? But he does say he's going to bring a sword, right? Sure does. Something is happening with the TBI today. So let me stop sharing this. I'm going to Google the TBI, see what's happening. Tennessee Bureau. And it could be any type of, investigation that they're working on. It doesn't have to be fashion or summer or, it's any investigation, but they are getting a lot of enlightenment. A lot of enlightenment today. And if anybody has any info, let me know. But I'm going to jump off here, guys. I've been on here for quite a while. And I'm going to do some deep diving on my own, with my own headspace. And I appreciate everybody hanging out here with me this morning and looking at, jumping on these charts, going back and forth. And thank you, Shauna, for coming up here and being on the panel, talking about your thoughts. And we can definitely talk about the Genesis 1:11 chart. See if we could create one. But I did send you the Christ chart that I have. And if you, if we start comparing the Christ chart that I have, it'll really blow your mind. It'll really blow your mind. It's a sacrifice. It's a 333, It's a 333, and that 333 is prevalent in his chart as well. So anyway, thank you guys. Love you, love you, love you. Have a great day. I'm going to end this stream with Sebastian's anthem. All right. Until next time.
Clean like your soul, won't be forgotten. We stand strong for you, never give up. Seek justice and truth. Day and night we search. Community gathers, wipe the tears away. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, babe. It lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, hey, it lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise up.